Unmuted.
6 million.
Jesus Christ. It's Wednesday, my dudes.
I mean, you're probably right.
Welcome to Perspective Check. Stop.
It's dudes my Wednesday. It's dudes in my Wednesday. I always loved when Troy did that. It's hot, right?
Yeah, guys. We're back again. Took a little break for Friendsgiving.
It was a good Friendsgiving.
It was good. Great Friendsgiving.
It was a great Friendsgiving.
It's a great giving.
I had the best deviled eggs I've ever had in my life.
Who made them?
Jim! They had these
Shout out to Jim, or one viewer.
Oh, it had a strong mustard flavor and it was very good.
Mustard's the grossest thing in the world. Fuck you guys. And I still put mustard in mine for you, and you didn't vote for me.
Yours were good, they just weren't as good as Jim's or Liz's. I don't know about you guys, but I just can't wait to be playing a Warlock during OG Alterac Valley. That's what I'm saying. I want to be ranged. I want to play a Mage or a Warrior.
Oh, dude.
Derail.
Fury Totem before they fucking nerfed it.
Guys. We're here for the OG WoW. Dungeons & Dragons.
No.
Dude, you should make your next campaign to be a WoW campaign.
No. We're done. We're done talking about WoW. We're done talking about WoW. We're here to play Dungeons & Dragons. Guys, you ready?
No, I'm not ready for Tiamat. Or Shadow Tiamat. We haven't really...
I think it's Tiamat's kid.
We haven't
Tiamat Jr.
We haven't really truly...
Yeah, Bahamut and Tiamat's forbidden love child.
I think it's actually Tiamat. Oh, my God. It's like...
Guys.
We're not going to know because it's going to kill us right now. So.
On the last exciting episode of Dungeons & Dragons Ball Z.
We need that electric guitar riff right after that.
We do.
I'll work on it.
Oh, that's it.
Guys, when last we left Nocturnum, our group of adventurers were traveling from their inn to Honor's Trial, the arena in the city of Narc, where they were set to compete that day. The final day of the Festival of Reincarnation. The group traveling along the way were distracted for a moment, hearing strange, eerie, familiar carnival music. Stopping by, they ran into and saw... I don't really know how to describe it. An enemy, friend? A creature of their past. That goes by the name Tuplugdu. A once man who is worshipped by a pack of Kumatoa and is given strange powers. And he is enraptured with the show, as he calls it. And he seemed to have a small little carnival act in the center of Narc, in a back alley. He wanted to speak with the group about something he had found. The group was pressed for time to get back to the arena. So they left Tuplugdu thinking to come back to him later. They went to the arena and did battle against Nature's Fury, the group that had won part of the group that had won the year previous. Led by their captain, a half-orc by the name of Vakinos. Nocturnum triumphed, defeating them.
I almost died.
Yeah, but that would have been
After defeating the majority of their group, Vakinos called for the surrender and threw in the towel, knowing that his group was defeated. At that moment, the king's box that he was sitting in descended down, and he began to address the crowd. The group heard in the distance the sound of bells, alarm bells, when suddenly hundreds and hundreds of tons of stone thrown into the air from one side of the arena, landing amongst them, battering into the far side of the stands. And when the dust cleared, they saw standing before them a 5-headed dragon with 5 different colored heads: blue, white, green, black, and red.
And it's wrong. It's not.
I got it. It's good.
I don't know what you said.
It's okay, Sean. It's a Dennis
Not-
Rodman.
Not worth repeating.
It's fine. It's wrong.
Everyone felt a wave of fear wash over them, and all of the group is locked in place, staring at this creature.
I'm not afraid.
You are afraid.
Was Lily the only one?
No one succeeded.
She rolled 22 and didn't succeed.
Fenrir's just excited to finally have a challenge.
I'm not scared.
Fenrir suddenly sprouts 5 heads and wings.
Finally, a worthy challenge.
God, I can't wait for the rest of your story.
For the what?
I mean,
What
you
was-
know,
what
find out
was-
what's- after we die. Yeah.
Yeah. When we get to tell all
The rest of the
stories
campaign
they
is just
could've
us
said.
watching him.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention. As the tower that served as the base for the king's podium box, the tower was toppled in this dragon appearing through the stands. In a very quick call to action, Zarn casted Animate Object to keep it afloat for the moment. As the dust is cleared, the creature's form revealed to you. You heard its voice echo out.
1,000 years ago, your gods killed mine. Today, I ask you this. Where are your gods now? I can tell you, they have forsaken you. They cannot help you now.
Strange question, is there a specific one of the heads that's doing the talking?
All of them.
Okay.
Simultaneously?
All of them are speaking simultaneously.
No shit.
It's pretty dope.
You see from the floating box above you movement as King Hasid steps forward. The box at this point is floating slightly above eye level for where the 5 heads raised up are about 50 feet up. You see as he steps towards the edge of the box.
How high is that? I'm just...
The box is probably about 70 feet up in the air.
Okay. So it was a good thing that
Yes, it would have been very bad for that thing to come crashing down from that height.
Okay.
You see as he steps forward up to the edge of the to where the banister is, and he leans against it and reaches down and grabs the hilt, the bladeless hilt that hangs at his side. As you see, he shifts it slightly, and a blade of light extends from the end of it. You hear his voice firm. There is a shakiness to it. The light of the Nine is with us. They would not betray our trust, as your gods once did. You see the dragon lift up onto its 2 back legs, raising to eye with the king. You see the red head, the lips peel back into this smile of razor-sharp fangs. Slowly all the other heads begin to smile as well.
There is no hope for you. There is no hope for your kingdom. I will not stop until I have found every shard amongst your pitiful land. shall sear the flesh from every last living creature on this earth until I have found what I want. And they will beg for salvation. It begins with you. Beg.
At this moment, all of you begin to feel that initial wave of fear begin to wear off. As you can start to feel again, you can feel the blood pumping through all of you now, but you can kind of like start to feel that like a numbness kind of washing away as all of you begin to gain full movement of yourselves again. Let's just do anything at this point.
Are we like entering initiative?
Not at this point.
Okay.
You guys are all still. You guys. So essentially, to give you an idea, you are all here in the arena. The pillars blown over. Some of you just barely standing where you guys were. You see several people that were downed in the arena before are buried underneath rubble. The dragon stands here, amongst the broken. The broken.
So it's
stands.
real close. It
Yeah.
It landed too.
It is landed in the arena, and it is essentially, instead of being down on all four, it has raised itself up onto its two back legs to be eye to eye with the king at this moment.
So there is a monstrous
sorry.
dragon standing right in front of the king of Narc, right at mouth level.
It is essentially the front of its nose is about 5 to 10 feet away from the king at this point.
I'm sorry. How tall?
With it raised up onto its back legs, its head is eye to eye with the king at like 70, 75 feet up.
Who else was on the platform with the king?
With the king as well was Oriver and Garrick, the Master of Judgment and the Master of...
How judgmental is Orpher looking
He's
at
the
this
most judgmental, man.
Judge the fuck out of this dragon. Nah,
he, as well as all of the crowds still around you, are all still essentially just like, at this point you would expect people to be screaming and running in fear. Everyone is just paralyzed with fear.
you're saying it's wearing off. Can I do something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna command my animated object to go land outside the arena.
What is the movement speed of one of your objects?
That's a good question. I don't think it's gigantic, but...
You guys know there's World of Warcraft Monopoly.
Stop.
Animated objects.
I need to make a Christmas list, so I'm looking for stuff.
This is a flying speed of 30 feet and can hover.
Also Legos.
So you're commanding it to move in which direction? So
Yeah,
let me do this just for this is the closest thing I have to the piece that's not all broken down.
I went to my two. The only.
You don't have it painted yet.
I don't have it painted, and I didn't want to put it together because it's way harder to pull apart if it's painted. Or it's way harder to paint if it's put together.
Yeah.
So
Lazy. I'm just kidding. No, I know how to.
Oh, what do I?
It doesn't do anything.
I guess at the distance we're at from a 70-foot. I'm just going to if one of the dragon heads looks like it's about to start breathing fire
Or
and
something else.
attempting to eat or destroy or kill the king, specifically the king.
okay.
And it's they're all on the same platform. I guess I'm going to just try and banish the head or something.
Okay. So you're preparing a banish.
That's
It's worked before.
I'm gonna just look around and see if anyone's like ready to attack. Because I am.
Make a perception check.
because I'm still pretty terrified.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I meant the fear is still very real, but you guys have your wits about you, so you can see.
I'm not scared to die.
You can see that the people that are around you. You can see them starting to like look a little bit like to one another. In the people that are around you in the arena, the people that are hardened combatants,
As in my friend.
your friends as well as the battered remnants of the other team. But you can see Vakinos at this point is slowly kind of stepping his way between you to head over towards Mothok, the Goliath that is currently buried underneath rubble.
So the king is floating like right here.
The king is floating up
King
here.
Dragon's Tower.
But yes.
I guess whatever looks like the quickest way that I could get them to a place where that thing can't eat them immediately is what I would order them to do. So
Can I like reach its rear knee?
At this point, so you're still down in the pits.
Christ,
It's standing up in the stands.
Okay. So I can't attack even if I wanted to, except for like throwing.
You could throw javelins or something at it.
Seems unwise.
So what direction are you moving it? Just like away? That way? This way?
is there a door to the arena down there?
There are doors to the arena here, and then there was one here, but it is now crushed underneath rubble.
I'd probably start moving it like down into the towards that arena door, maybe even turning it so it's facing away.
Okay, so you're essentially just turning it down into the.
Trying to get them. Is that door open?
The doors are currently closed because they closed during the fight.
Oh, so I would probably tell it to fly over the walls then and get the king out.
Okay.
If the doors are open.
Oh, that's right. I forgot what you were animating.
And then I might lean back to Albert as well.
Please kill me.
He said he has to bear healing.
Right. Yeah, I'm on bear.
I'll bear someone near him.
Sorry, I whispered that. I shouldn't have. I said please heal.
Am I standing near him?
He's right behind me.
Yeah, Albert is he's a couple steps away. I guess I should probably.
About goddamn time, Tim.
What up?
It's about time.
Rusty.
I'm rusty.
No, Rusty.
tonight.
Yes.
That's really depressing.
He's sick, I think.
So,
That is sick of David's.
what is your spell DC?
17.
And here we have the luckiest fantasy football player of all time, Tim. Hello, Tim.
I don't know if luck's a factor anymore. I'm handily beating everybody that play.
Yeah, because you're lucky.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
Lucky Leonard Fournette got one
So,
point.
Am
I nearby then?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
just
you
going
can
to touch him. I'm just going to touch him and cast a Cure Wounds at.
Kill this thing this week.
So he has the same spell slots
He has
that
the
I
same.
do.
Yep.
And you said that, just so I'm clear, so I have a.
I believe he only used the first level spell.
Okay. So I will mark one on that. He's gonna give you a. He's got that. I'm just gonna give you just straight up a 4th level because you're pretty effed up. Right?
I have 8 HP.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a 4th level Cure Wounds on you.
So go ahead and roll 4d8. No. Cure Wounds is only 1, yeah. So 4d8 plus 5.
So we're actually fighting.
Yeah, I gotta step outside.
Well, we're not in initiative at this point.
I have 7 HP.
17.
You're good. I'm going
Plus.
on.
Fine.
So 22.
22. So,
When this dragon appeared, what did it do? Did we have to roll a saving throw?
Yeah.
you guys rolled a dexterity saving throw to avoid being bludgeoned by rocks, which that was damage that was factored in already. And then you guys rolled another saving throw for just for fear.
Okay, which we all
Of just
failed.
yes, you all failed, but now it only affects you for so long, and now it has worn off, and you guys are starting to gain your bit of sense as Zarn is commanding the podium box where the king is to start floating away from it.
I don't remember my HP from last session. That's the only problem.
I don't know that you took.
I know I didn't take, in the main battle, I didn't take any damage.
Well, then I think at most you would have only taken 5 points of damage from the bludgeoning. So, Lily, You're standing here. What do you want to do? You see that Albert has taken a step forward and casted a Cure Wounds on Zarn. Sandal looks like he's preparing to cast something. The dragon is currently standing up on the stands and is raised up eye to eye and is looking essentially like 5 feet away from the king.
I will say that I'm visibly shaking.
Yeah, I think we all are. And I am.
How's everyone else on HP roughly? I'm good. Kind of still.
Is there a visible way out of this arena right now, or are all the doors closed?
The doors are closed, but I mean they could be. They can be opened. So I mean, but other than that, climbing the walls of the arena to get up and out.
I kind of just say to them, we've got to get out of here.
So,
I'm going to cure wounds myself.
Okay.
Before something else happens.
Go ahead and do that. As the platform starts to shift away, you see the curled back sneer turn into a snarl as you see the claw reaches up and grabs the side of the platform. You cast banishment at this point?
If it's being aggressive, I'm going to attempt to cast Banish on something.
What
I don't
level?
know. It's a gigantic creature.
What level are you casting it at?
Well, Banish is a 4th level spell. Wait. Let me make sure that I'm actually... Yes, Banish is a 4th level spell, so that would be the spell level that I'm casting it at.
Okay. So as you go to cast banishment, you feel the spell fizzle. Doesn't affect it in any way. This claw reaches out, grabs the side of the platform, grabs the other one, pulls it back towards itself.
I said, beg.
And you see the king's blade of light. The blade fades. Tink. You hear the sound of the blade hitting the platform and landing into the stands. He drops down to one knee. Please, whatever fury you harbor towards this city, take it out on me. Do not harm my people. See the snarl turn back to a smile as the voices speak out in unison.
You have chosen well. I will show you the path to salvation. A path through fire.
As the snout of the red dragon reaches forward and touches the top of the king's head, you see a bright, blinding light.
I drop a spell.
Yeah. Oh, you're dropping the animate spell.
Yeah. See if it drops out of his hands if he's not prepared for it. That's my only idea.
Okay. As the dragon's kind of holding it, the snout reaches forward. You've let go of your animate object spell, and the platform slips out of the dragon's hand as it slams down to the ground.
Trying as hard as I can to save this kid.
Sorry, I gotta find the card here.
Cold. Yeah, it's colder than I thought it would be today. Yesterday was so warm, and I thought today was supposed to be warmer.
So, as you see suddenly the platform slams down to the ground, you see the top of it crumble inward as the platform itself, not built to stand for falling 70 feet, kind of collapses, and you see the timbers break. You see the dragon, as the heads begin to fan out and look to the crowd. At that point, you hear the sounds of the crowd crying out suddenly as they all begin to realize, as the dragon has not been paying any attention to them, it is now paying attention to everyone. As the heads begin to turn and look around, people begin to run away in fear.
I dropped to knees. I just immediately just dropped to knees as the heads fan out.
Did I miss anything? Just real quick.
He dropped his animate object spell, and the platform, the dragon not expecting it, landed down below, as the king had dropped to one knee to beg for his people's safety.
Did the king survive?
It is now landing. It landed currently about here, and there's just a bunch of rubble at this point.
I probably pretty quickly run in to try and save whoever's in there.
Roll an investigation check. You see, as the people begin to run, the white head breathes out, as you can see all to the right of the arena. People flash frozen.
22.
22.
Probably has like 5 of them. So.
Attack now.
The blackhead breathes this thick line of caustic acid as it lands down. You hear the screams of people as it lands through the crowd, melting through the stone. People on the other sides of the arena beginning to run forward. Fenrir, you see suddenly below you, running through the stands, landing down into the arena behind you, landing over here on this platform. Where did I put her? Lune, charging from where she was in the stands to be with you and your companions in the arena. Where did she go? There she is. So you're landing down onto this rubble here.
Can I jump from there and mount her?
Yeah, make an athletics check.
That is 22.
22. Okay, so you jump down and you land onto her. Lune only takes 1 point of damage from the weight of you landing on her, but you kind of land down into the saddle and kind of strap yourself in. As you go looking through the rubble very quickly, kind of pull it back and you can see the first person you find is Garrick with a timber piercing out through the front of his chest as you're kind of going through, blood pouring profusely. Dead. Continue to kind of go through very quickly. You can see, you kind of hear him groaning in pain as you find King Hasid, his arm shattered underneath the weight of one of the large timbers, but you can see that he's kind of managed to get his arm out from underneath it, and you can see just this mangled mess where it is, blood covering him. And you can see as well Oriver, hurt, blood kind of running down from the side of his face as well. Seems to be kind of pulling himself out from the timbers at this point. You begin to, as you are kind of reaching forward towards the king, you hear thundering out throughout the arena the sounds of laughter. As the creature raises itself to its full height, people in the stands running, it flares its wings out wide.
Behold, the terror that is Vundris. Go in in fear, and know that death comes for this world.
Seems to be taking in this moment of triumph. And you see the green head. As all 5 heads focus in towards the arena. His lips all peel back to snarls as growls begin to emanate from all of their heads, and they say in unison,
Which of you have it?
I need everyone to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Oh shit!
I
I was gonna see about taking a healing potion before that happened. All right, we got this.
Alright, initiatives. What about 20?
Sorry, let me roll.
Either. Go flying there. Amongst. Marker. That is essentially everything in that area is difficult terrain. Where you were going through and finding.
I imagine I'm like in there somewhere.
Yeah. 20 to 15.
I had an 18.
Sindal has an 18.
Which one of you two wants to go first?
He would go
I
first.
I think I actually would.
You're a lot more active.
I'm trying to act right now. So.
Yes, I'm scared shitless.
15.
Uh, 15 to 10.
15.
I got you.
14.
11.
Bear has a 13.
What did you have again? Sorry, 14?
Yeah.
Okay.
The campaign right now.
Um,
Man, oh my god.
You thought we were going on hiatus, but in fact, this is the final.
Cody's like, I'm burnt out. I don't want to play anymore.
We missed a conversation.
I'll just give you guys T-Bat. You guys are fighter. Those level 9s and win. Whatever. That's good storytelling.
This isn't Tiamat, Cody.
The plot of our story escalated very quickly. We didn't even know
It's
this
Tiamat and
climax.
Boss. It's Tiamat and Boss, incestual love child.
Vudras or whatever. Vudras.
I thought I knew, but then you just confused me with how wrong you were. Voldoon? Vordoon?
Okay. Zarn. You are first.
What?
As your turn is coming up, the dragon takes one step forward, down to all fours. One of her claws is now into the arena itself, so she is, on some level, at ground level in the arena.
First thing I'll do is I will yell up to Korak and be like, try to get the door open. We need to get the hell out of here. And
what'd you say?
I yell to you, try to get the door open. We need to get the hell out of here.
Okay.
This is beyond us. And then I'm going to try and pull the king out and just get him like as far as I can behind that pillar into cover, or like any kind of cover.
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
I'm gonna leave.
That is a 17.
17. Okay, so you manage to kind of pull the king out from underneath the rest of the rubble that he is, and you're able to pull him. Is it you're heading towards this?
My
direction?
idea was to go. Let's see, where's it already at? My idea was to get behind that pillar there that Borak's standing on right now, just to get because it looks like the quickest cover I can get to.
Okay, so you can get to about there for yourself, but the king is still technically, as you're kind of like pulling him along, the king is still technically out from behind the pillar, but you yourself are behind it at this point.
Well, I would, if it's possible, I would throw him behind the pillar and keep me out in the open. And just, and if I can, I'd like whisper to him like, "You need to get out of here. You're more important than any of us."
Okay. You can see at this point he's kind of dazed. So I mean, like you can see that he kind of like looks at you and like nods, but like he's a little bit stunned at this point. Anything else?
Can I do anything else?
Did you have a bonus action?
Bonus action. I'll inspire Korak with a very shaky words of praise. Be like, "You're very strong. It's very important now that you're very strong."
Go ahead and take your inspiration.
You're the strongest you've ever been.
Please be the strongest you've ever been.
Was it a D12?
A D10 or 8. D8.
I thought I asked D8 last time when I was wrong.
So no, let me go.
I'll look, 'cause it's been a while.
Dwarf down in front of him is Judgment, right?
Mm-hmm. The other one is impaled by one of the pillars.
The pillar that's down by the...
It's by one of the splintered pillars.
Okay,
Before.
as I'm still on my knees, like just trying to not get blown fire on, I guess,
Yes. If I get to next level, it becomes D10 then.
Okay.
I
said D6 last time.
I guess I'm going to seeing him drag the king out and hide him behind the pillar. I'm going to move closer to the king, around the best that I can to the pillar.
You kind of move into this area's difficult terrain.
Sure. And I'm going to cast haste on the king.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Yeah, sure. 15.
15. You do see that the king is more or less. Zarn is essentially like the only thing that's keeping him up and moving at this point.
Oh, okay. Okay, that changes things completely because that was the other. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of that, what I'm going to do. This is so great. I'm going to cast Otiluk's Resilient Sphere on the king to create a protective bubble around him.
Okay.
Because that was the other.
Luke's freezing sphere. Luke's resilient sphere. Nothing. A physical object. Okay. So you see as Sindal kind of moves forward towards the king Zarn, as you're kind of carrying him, you feel suddenly this force kind of push your arms away from him as you see this sphere of purple arcane energy completely circle around him as Sindal is kind of shuffling around behind you to cast that on him. And as your arm is kind of moving away, you bump it, and it feels ridiculously light as a feather. And as you kind of bump it, you see it kind of move immediately.
I just kind of look to you and I'm just like,
Save the king. Hopefully we live too.
I think that's the plan. That's my plan.
And that's it. I don't know.
Okay. Also, you are maintaining concentration on that.
And if I'm able to, I don't know how much I moved, if I'm able to find any perch just behind any sort of tower.
From where you are currently standing, there wouldn't really be anywhere to move.
I'd move closer to look at them, so it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of a clusterfuck with all the pillars being thrown.
Yeah.
Gorak,
Wow.
you're up.
So I'm on top of this pillar, yeah?
Yep.
So I'm looking around for a door to get out of.
There are 3.
Though I lust for blood,
This one,
I trust Zornador.
this one, and the far one.
Zornit's door, excuse me, I have an accent.
There is one that is crushed underneath where it is standing.
Is there one that seems the best for most people? Would
There,
that be the
there's the
middle?
one this is the one that's closest to you, and then this one is kind of hidden behind some rubble. This one, or the one on the far end of the arena.
How much rubble? Like, is it like not even a turn's worth to clear and then try to bust the door open?
Like you could potentially like go up and over the rubble and try to lift it. But what's your movement speed again?
40.
I'd say you'd be just barely be able to get to the one that is on the opposite side of the arena over to here to lift it if you want to, or you can do the one that is here. The one on the far side is too far away.
Who is this lying on the ground over here? Is this anyone I give a shit about?
This is the
No, I know
That?
that is what this part. Yeah.
that's the dwarf that was on the other
So I
team.
don't give a shit about.
Your team is currently all up and standing. The only 2 that are standing on the other side are Vakinos and Mariel, the archer.
All right, I'm gonna try to get that back middle door, and I'm gonna try with all my might to get that shit open.
Go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
And I'm also going to, well, I'm gonna rage. Is this acrobatics check for the movement or for?
It's for leaping down from the pillar, because otherwise you were running down it and you would not make it to the gate.
I should go. I swear to God, things just disappear. You said acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Not athletics?
No, it's acrobatics to reduce the fall damage.
$11.
Okay, so you still take, you said that you raged?
Yeah.
Okay, so it would be 7, so you'll take 3 points of
Both
damage.
numbers of time.
The acrobatics check wasn't high enough to reduce the damage.
You have a.
So that's what that was for. That wasn't.
Correct.
Okay.
Because if you didn't have those, you would not get to make an acrobatics
Okay,
check.
that's what I was. That's where I was. That was the disconnect.
Yeah.
All right, so we're
So
getting over to the
you run
door,
over towards here through the rubble. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
and I'm going to use my inspiration on it, no matter
Okay.
what. So, you said another athletics?
Yep.
Oh, athletics this time.
Yeah, it's an athletics check.
Oh. Maybe I shouldn't use my inspiration.
You fucking rip the door off.
27.
Throw it at the dragon.
27. As you run up to it, it's like a portcullis of sorts, but it's only made of wood. You reach down, grabbing down underneath the bars, throw your hands up into the air as you hear the sounds of chains rapping and moving. As you get up underneath it, you are currently standing underneath the gate, holding it up.
And I just yell, "Everyone, come on!" That's it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
You see as next up, you see the archer reach into her quiver and pull back 2 arrow shots, firing them both at the dragon. Both the arrows just skipping off the scales harmlessly. The 5 heads still looking around. The one snaps over to her direction. At that point, she leaps backwards,
Runs the fuck
and
away.
starts running down this direction, reaching over to him and kind of grabbing the dwarf to go and pull them. Almost fell there for a second. To kind of grab and pull him, but the dwarf is currently unconscious. Vakinos, looking around, runs over to the Goliath. Rolls an athletics check and starts pulling away the pillars, kind of knocking and pushing the stones out of the way. It ends up taking all of his turn, but he kind of reaches down and throws the Goliath kind of over his shoulder and is currently holding him there. Pull them both out of the way.
Did they make it out of the door?
No, he is currently standing where he is, but he has the Goliath kind of slung over his shoulder.
I don't want to die.
We can't.
Um,
the main characters.
Next up is Lily.
So there's
The main character.
the main character, main girl. Korak has that door open.
Yeah, but
He is currently standing up underneath, holding the gate up.
I'm going to first bonus action healing word myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to, I guess, dash to him or to the door to, I guess, get out because I'm assuming we're all gonna fucking run.
Okay. So as you very quickly, looking up to the dragon, you cast Healing Word on yourself and just start running as fast as possible.
Which is really fast.
yeah, like 50.
Running down into the tunnels, you can see as you're running, there are guards that are seeming to try and push towards the arena to get an idea, but there are all of the other combatants that are down in the areas ahead. You can see them just all kind of running out and trying to get an idea of what's going on. They're not exactly sure.
You don't want to know?
As you go sprinting down the tunnel into this mass of people. At the end of your turn,
Nothing happens.
Dragon is going to use legendary action.
I don't want to like abandon my party. I just wanted to at least make it to the doorway.
Your sprint, you're still only like 20 feet down the hallway from where it was, like having to kind of shuffle over that.
I'll back myself up a little closer to Korak. I figured I was going to probably have to dash to at least make it there.
Yeah. At the end of your turn,
He's like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here.
the
Run through his legs.
the blue head. You see as there is a sudden flash and boom of lightning and thunder as it flashes out in this direction, blasting through the pillar, crashing through, sending stone flying and disintegrating, turning them both into ash.
Oh, shit.
White lightning attack.
I'll bear it. I'm not gonna roll all those dice for numbers. Unless you guys want me to roll so you guys get an idea of how much damage that just did.
No.
No,
I don't want to give a dice roll.
I want to know. I don't want to hear it.
I would have to use a dice roller. I'm not gonna make
No,
No,
you
you
can
roll
roll
the
dice. You actually need to go and 3D print more dice so that you can roll the appropriate.
Yeah, guys, give me 13 hours.
You should get like a 500-sided die and just roll that.
And just whatever single number it lands.
One.
We lucked out.
This shit.
Next one's 500.
I actually don't know anything else that is this.
Spoiler alert.
I guess. Mr. Judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he can do to actually help that situation. Mr. Judgment.
Fenrir, just so you have an idea, you're up next.
Has anybody attacked this thing yet?
No.
I don't think that's the plan.
I'm just
There were some arrows that hit it and just bounced off of it.
pretty strong.
They weren't
well,
black dragon killing.
Are we just trying to bail?
I mean, you are a dwarf Fenrir. So
I yelled out to
What are you
Korak
doing,
to
man?
open the door so we can bail.
I obeyed.
So he'll
I'm very vulnerable right now, though. I wouldn't mind some cover fire, Fenrir.
Oh, that's not the right thing to do.
We're all vulnerable.
Right, so he is going
I'm
to.
just standing there like this, though.
can I see? So I can tell that Mr. I just keep calling him Mr. Judgment.
Orville is he's
Orville-
kind of pulling himself out of the rubble and shaking his head, kind of trying to gain his bearings.
Have any other than a dragon head coming down and breathing any type of breath on him? Does he seem like he's in immediate danger?
I mean, he's currently about 5 feet away from one of the claws that is longer than like a great sword, essentially.
Okay.
The danger is gonna show.
I will. Man, I don't even know what he would do. I think. Any other abilities that he has? No, this is main shit. Choice. So I guess I will. So I'm going to cast a Shield of Faith on Orville.
Okay.
And then I'm going to. Who's nearby? Actually, so I'll cast a Shield of Faith on Orville, and then I'm going to walk up to. I'm going to move towards. The door where Korak is holding up.
No.
He actually unfortunately blocks the spell with his left
Okay,
claw.
so that would be most of your movement, kind of moving through the rubble, getting to that point. Stuff
Okay.
action.
And then I'm going to.
Just do it.
I'm going
man.
to.
What are you
I'm
doing,
going
man?
to guidance. I'm just going to cast a guidance
Okay.
on him holding the door because he looks like he's strained.
Okay.
Holding the door open.
So Korak, you essentially have an inspiration for the next round that is a D4.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
None of us know.
At the end of Albert's turn, Fenrir, you're up.
I mean, is everyone just trying to bail out right now?
You can, yeah.
Are they still Is someone struggling still to hold that open?
Korak is currently sitting underneath it, holding. He doesn't look like he's overly strained, but he is currently standing underneath it with both arms raised up above his head, holding
He
his
just
gate open.
stands under it. It's on his head. Just,
I'm gonna go help him then.
uses his fucking.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yes. So as you and Lune, kind of hop down, Albert gets kind of pushed a little bit. As you kind of get down underneath it, using the height of Lune next to Korak, you kind of the two of you you feel the weight suddenly shift, and it's a lot lighter as Lune kind of bends down a little bit and lifts Fenrir up to be able to hold it at about your height. The two of you lock eyes for a second, seeing this is.
I let
the
go and
fear.
run. I let go and run out.
Well, it's not your turn,
No.
but yes.
Oh my god, me and Albert are gonna get cut off.
Korak charges back into the fight and starts fighting the dragon.
I did want to fight.
Anything else?
I didn't
No,
even think
I mean-
about running, actually.
Yeah, I'll just be good for now.
Okay. Lindris' turn. The dragon shifting along this way.
What's do that for?
Its first steps down into the arena. You see as Orville begins to kind of lift himself up. Stops as a talon pierces through the front of his chest, pinning him to the ground. Dragon, all 5 heads, look down to Krem, lying on the ground. You see one of the claws reach forward and wrap around his unconscious form, lifting him up as his head kind of lolls back.
It's you.
As the dragon crushes the form of Krem, you hear him suddenly kind of cry out for a second. And suddenly you see a bright, flashing white light begin to appear from his form. As suddenly Sindal and Zarn. And just the two of you make perception checks.
No one's gonna find out I killed that guard.
21.
There's a silver lining
9.
to everything.
You see as the dragon begins to crush Krem, you can see the red scales on its claw slowly washing over them. You see blood. And the scales begin to turn into a metallic color as it washes down about partway down the dragon's forearm. Until suddenly the white light stops. So Krem's form is no longer there. Yes. The wings flare out. The dragon begins to lift up into the air.
I need more.
Dragon flies up and out of the arena. As you can hear this cries of terror from the people out in the city.
Pussies.
As the dragon begins to fly away.
We beat him.
How much experience do we get for the killing?
We beat
For beating the dragon.
The rest of you, this moment of what the fuck just happened comes over you as you all kind of continuing to run in the direction of the tunnels. I'm assuming you guys are continuing.
Is he flying away? Is he flying away?
He's flying up and away from sight in the arena.
Albert immediately goes to check on Orvir then. Was he left there?
Oh, well, the corpse is probably still stuck on the talon.
Oh, stuck on the
He's
talon.
flying
Okay,
away.
that's what I was. Okay.
I throw a healing word on the
Is
girl
it-
that's laying back there in the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
Krem
you
is the
see-
guy that's by the pillar, right?
You
Yeah.
guys are
he's
wasting
gone.
spell slots for the rest of the tournament.
This is just a remodel of the arena. It's new terrain features.
Alright, next round, guys!
This is all part of the plan.
This is
It's
part
very
of the
immer-
round transition.
Very immersive tournament.
Is there anybody else that is still
What
potentially
happens when you lose
live
the
or
tournament?
not
Get fucked by a dragon.
under that
Of the people that were still in the arena,
Yes.
everyone is accounted for except for Orvir, Garrick, what are their names? Borsik, Mariel. Both of those were the two that were evaporated by the bolt of
Yes.
lightning, and then Krem. Everyone else that was in the arena, including
Right, so the Goliath.
Chalia, Mothok, Vakinos. All of them are with you as you guys are kind of moving towards this tunnel.
And alive.
And alive, correct.
Pushing the king's floating bubble.
Yeah,
Very
you
light
were
floating
you were
bubble.
kind of like very lightly just like taking a step forward and bumping it,
Can
and
I
it's just
cast spells on him through that?
No.
No, I can't.
No, you
Sorry.
cannot. Nothing can touch him in there.
I guess I could have asked that. I can't do his voice.
So, as you guys, I'm assuming you guys are moving down the tunnel to get out of the arena at this point, or what are you guys doing? As you see,
I'm still holding
We need to get out of here. We need to get the king to safety. I don't know where safety is, but we need to get out of here.
I mean, I feel like the danger has passed.
I mean,
Have you ever seen one of those creatures before in your life?
Absolutely not.
Did you see how many people it killed?
do you
Yeah,
have
I
any,
mean,
do you have any
yeah,
idea
I mean-
what that sort of thing is?
make a religion check.
Religion check.
What did he do with the Krem? He like crushed him and then turned partially metallic.
Religion check of 10.
10?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dragon.
Okay, I was just not sure how much we know about dragons.
No, yeah, you know from like because more or less like for the entire span of your lives, dragons are borderline myths.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh yeah, old dragons, whatever. This is definitively one of the creatures of nightmares from
This
that
is
scared you as kids.
a textbook dragon. Except it has 5 heads.
Except that's 5.
Do
Right.
dragons
We need-
always have 5 heads?
We need to get the king to safety outside of this bubble that I've created, and also
I think you could probably drop it now so we can heal him and such. He's probably in a lot of pain.
I drop it.
As we're like
Okay,
running through the hall.
as you kind of drop it, you see that he's kind of holding himself up against it,
Sure.
and he suddenly just
and I'll help him.
Okay.
And probably throw a couple healing words on him. Heal him for. I'll do a second level healing word on him. Heal him for 10.
I'm gonna wave people through.
10, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys all kind of step through into the tunnel, you guys kind of let the gate set down behind you, Korak. As you can see, some of the guards that had kind of come up to see where they were behind you, Lily, have turned back and they essentially immediately were like, nope!
I don't
and,
have all my pay grade.
and they both started running back. As you can see, there are more of a couple of the combatants are kind of coming forward, but most of them are running further down the tunnel to get out of this complex. As you cast your heal spell on the king, you can see that he's still kind of clutching his ruined arm. What just happened?
I'm not particularly sure. I think that was a dragon.
I'm looking around. I'm watching around our surroundings just to make sure that nothing weird happens around King Hasid.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Nobody. You know what I mean?
I mean, we've seen a
13.
dragon.
You've seen a drake.
It was much smaller.
With one head. instead
The
of-
drake was also the drake was only like 10 to 15 feet long
Right,
from snout
but,
and tail.
I mean-
But yes. You see as you're looking. Oh, sorry. What did you roll again? Sorry.
13.
The king seems visibly shaken. And he doesn't seem to be like confused as to what just happened. More of just, what the fuck. He's not like actually asking like what just happened.
I feel
And
like
the
most
people-
of us are kind of like that right
Yeah,
now.
and that's kind of the general feel that you're getting from everyone. You can see as you guys are standing there, Vakinos sets down Mothok and uncorks a potion and kind of feeds it down into his lips, and he kind of reaches up and pats Vakinos. Thanks, appreciate the help. Bummer that we lost that fight, isn't it? As he kind of takes a moment to kind
Oh
of
yeah,
look.
the girl that I healed probably woke up and was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Well, she saw as you kind of healed the dragon flying off in
Okay,
the
okay.
distance. Molthok seems to have no... What's everyone doing down here? Vagnus just looks at him. We'll have to explain later. He kind of helps lift him up to his feet.
We won the tournament.
We're the only ones who had a win.
Yeah.
Only undefeated team.
King,
Just saying. Wanna know?
we have to get out of here. We have to get out of this arena. We have to get...
Do you know a place that's safe, secure, perhaps underground?
There are tunnels underneath the city. Come on. As he kind of pushes forward, he kind of stops for a second and kind of feels for the hilt, but seems to remember exactly kind of what happened. As he continues to push forward. As you kind of going through the tunnels of the complex, you can hear the distant sounds of screaming as you guys are going through. You feel the occasional shaking of it as dust kind of falls from the ceiling. Eventually, you guys kind of coming out into the more open spaces of the arena, of the walkways. The arena is... There are still people streaming out through the exits. There are people that are being trampled in the process of people running in fear. In the time that you guys had spent, you're in a slightly less crowded area currently, because there are people that are just funneling towards the exits.
So from listening, and did he Wundthus fly away? And
From being down in the arena, all you could see was it fly up and over the wall of the walls of the arena, and then it was out of sight.
Okay, so I don't really know what he's...
From where you are
what's
currently, no.
Anything, nothing, okay.
I mean, you can try to get towards a window to see if you can see it.
Right. Well, I'm following the group.
Okay.
That's it.
So as you and the rest of the group continue to kind of push forward, trying to avoid the areas where people are literally trampling each other to get out of this, you guys pass over several places where you see that there is a man that was crushed in the process of trying to get out. You can see that there are places where some of the stone gave way from the ruin of the dragon coming through the arena originally. Eventually making your way down some staircases, you make your way out into the thoroughfare outside of the arena. Everyone make perception checks.
An 8.
23.
6.
21.
9.
Okay.
He gets some damage, doesn't he?
He does.
It's an 8 plus 11.
Okay. And Lily, what did you roll again? Sorry.
23.
So, Lily, you, all of you, kind of looking out, you see smoke rising from all of the area around you, kind of coming up from some of the houses. You see, looking out around the city, you see guards running along the tops of walls, looking towards the... Where did my map go? I lost it. No. There we go. Looking out towards the southeast, you can see the top of the Arcane Citadel, the large tower where the worshippers of Arion reside. Did this stop playing or what's happening? It did stop playing. There we go. You see the top of the tower rising up above the wall as you see the tower shake as climbing up toward the top of the tower. You see the dragon perched against the side of it, smashing off the top of the tower. You see the red head of the dragon lean up over the top, looking into the tower. Just breathing fire down through it. You see the windows begin to burst out in flame. The stones beginning to separate from the immense heat of the top of it. The stones melting.
Jet fuel can't melt water. Stupid.
You see as he kind of stops and sees this as well. It's hopeless. What can we do against something like that?
This isn't the time to worry about that. We need to get to safety.
Nowhere's going to be safe.
Is there an army? Can they rally? Here.
The army was gathered before launching to Calisari. We can get word out to the barons across the land, but okay. We have to get to my keep. We can get there. We can meet up with Calrin. Figure out what to do from there. Let's go. As he starts to lead you guys through the thoroughfare of the city, leading towards the seat of the king. You see, coming running up to you guys, after a few moments, you see several packs of guards begin to see all of you traveling with the king and seeing that he is injured. Some of the guards begin to kind of lump into your formation, kind of following along, very shakily holding weapons. But you can see some of them with crossbows following along with you as well. Eventually you find your way to the seat of the king, the very plain-looking stone keep that resides in the center of the city. You can see the guards begin to lift up the gates and open up the doors to the keep as the king is coming forward. You can see as he's coming up to some of the guards, he kind of grabs looks like a captain by the arm. You and your men, you need to find only those that want to stay in the keep. The rest of them, have them get to their families, get somewhere safe. Go. You see the captain kind of nod his head as he kind of goes off to some of the other guards and starts to send them off, leading you and your companions into the into where the throne room where you guys have been before. You see as the king kind of comes forward, several of the guards begin to shout, and as you guys are kind of walking to the small open chamber where you guys originally met with King Hasid, after a few moments you see two clerics begin rushing forward, having the garments of ROA, kind of going forward and begin giving medical attention to the king, attending to his arm. And there's just a kind of a tense silence.
Are there any windows where I can actually locate where this gigantic motherfucking dragon is?
Mm-hmm. There are windows that you can go look out, yeah.
Yes, I would like to go do that.
Go make a perception check.
I don't know what
I just say, is there a way we can get out of here, like underground or whatever? Usually there's tunnels. If need be, if that thing attacks, I don't think we can fight it right now.
19.
There are tunnels that lead down into the pillar that the city is built on that would lead us out into the sunken district. But the only way out of the city is over any of the 4 bridges that lead out of the city. This place is built to withstand sieges. We've never had to worry about needing escape tunnels. Looking out, you can see in the distance the dragon currently is perched atop one of the thick, high walls in the exterior of the city. You can see in the distance bolts and a ballistade hitting against the creature, smashing harmlessly. The arrows just hitting off of it like flies annoying a bear.
Is Calran here?
No, not at this moment.
He said he was looking for shards. Ring a bell for anybody.
Does it ring a bell for anybody?
The shards.
Ring a bell can be out of character, but not in character. No.
Shards and dust.
That's from
Ring a bell. Something ring a bell. Atreus never told us, did he? About
He mentioned it.
with Jeremiah?
Mm-hmm. He had mentioned it, I remember that. He had mentioned that he saw a bright light, but that was it. He didn't know what it was.
He grew, like, he clearly Krem was what he was looking for. He found Krem and he left. It looks like, well, he's looking for other things like that. Whatever.
Right.
There was some kind of light that came from him.
What's important now? There's a dragon ravaging devastation upon the city. These protectors, this army that is here, is fighting to no. They have no means of even beginning to attempt to combat this creature?
There's the churches here. They're of the gods that slew the dragons long ago. Perhaps the priests know of something, some sort of method to fight a dragon.
That would seem to be our best option. We have very few options here.
I believe this foe is beyond us with our current capabilities. I don't know what sort of powerful people are in this city, but I don't know if we have any chance.
He said he was looking for shards.
Yes, that's what he said.
These old, fantastic creatures are seeking something that we know nothing of. It's no difference to us.
I could always
They'll kill and they'll take what they want.
use divination.
They won't kill
Try to find out.
They'll kill until they decide to stop killing, and until then, there's nothing we can do other than try to stop it.
Well,
I personally like Zornthor's idea of talking to the priests and seeing if there's anything that we can, any blessing or anything we could receive.
I choose to live until we can find out what he's looking for, so that we might either give it to him,
Well, if he
and
makes
he
it,
will go away,
well,
or
you can choose to live, but if he chooses to kill you,
I've
you're
personally...
not. Your choice means nothing.
certainly.
I mean, going along with that, though, my suggestion of talking to the priests, I don't think any of us have ever studied dragons before. But these priests who are sworn to the gods that slew them might know. They might have an idea.
Oh, I'm all on board for that.
Vondrus?
I would like to. So originally, he was asking that people. Do I have any idea that dragons actually, in any way or facet, adore subservience?
Make a history check.
24.
24. I mean, you know just from the stories of them, like the classic hallmarks of dragons. They
Sure.
adore gold. They adore worshippers. They are overly vain creatures.
Okay.
A few minutes pass, and eventually, Caloran makes his way into the chamber with all of you. His look of all the color is drained from his face. He just seems to walk in almost in a daze. My king, and he kind of goes forward over towards Hasid, who at this point you can see that the clerics have kind of begin to set splints and kind of put wrappings around the arm. As he kind of holds his hand up. I'm fine, Caloran, thank you. How fare our forces against this creature? What hope do our people have? Fire arrows against the creature. His scales like steel. Nothing seems to faze the creature. We fired ballistic shots. We've used catapults. Stones break upon it like they're hitting the earth. People are dying, my king. The king seems to just be deep in thought. Caloran kind of steps over to kind of address all of you. Was it because of you that the king is here? Can you tell me a little bit more of what happened down in the arena? What happened to him?
To the king?
I choose to continue watching where the dragon is.
I'll go through.
Doesn't seem important.
The creature appeared right after we finished our round in the arena. The magic supporting the arena faded, and the pillar that the king was on started to fall, I used a spell to hold it up. And the creature spoke to him. It looked like it was about to kill him, so I dropped the spell and the platform fell. Fortunately, the king survived, and we got him and got out of there. It found one of the people. It said something about looking for shards. It found a man. He was actually a friend of your son. We recognized him from our travels before. Krem in the arena did something to him, and light came from him, and then the creature was pleased and flew away as we ran out the door.
I don't know what these shards are, but if it's something this creature's looking for and it's willing to destroy an entire city like this, I'm afraid of what else it'll do to find them.
I want to cast divination.
Okay.
It's not take a while.
10 minutes.
Nope. It's an action.
What?
Oh, shit.
All I need is 25 gold worth of incense, which I have 200.
Just a bag full of incense on the floor.
I purposely bought it.
He throws it all on the floor and burns it all.
Super divination.
8 divinations in one.
420, blaze it.
Flame strike cast to light all of the incense.
Get a tarp, guys. Let's get under the incense burning.
Okay. What is the question you're asking?
I'm going to ask, what is Vudris trying to accomplish by locating these shards?
Okay. So, you see Lily begin. Are you casting this as a ritual, or are you casting it just as a spell?
I'm going to just cast it as a spell. I ain't got time to be ritual casting shit.
You see as Lily reaches into her backpack and pulls out a handful of herbs. Suddenly, her hands begin to glow with fire from her produced flame as the herbs begin to. As she inhales the incense, you see her eyes wash over white. You see a landscape. You see in the distance buildings, a city. You see rising up over them a large, 5-headed form casting a shadow over these cities. Its wings flare out. Coming out from the wings, you see hundreds and hundreds of smaller winged forms. Other dragons coming out from the shadows of her wings, flying out, ravaging these cities, ravaging these towns. And you see then a flash as you see the 5-headed dragon. Not red, where once the torso and wings themselves are red. Shining, silver, platinum, with the still 5 chromatic heads sitting atop an endlessly tall pile of gold. Your vision slumps back. You stand in the room around. See your friends.
We're gonna be so rich. I would describe that to everybody.
That's horrifying. What if the red isn't its skin color, but it's rust?
I don't know if that's... How does that explain... Wait, is the body all red?
The torso and the wings, the legs and the arms of the dragon are red.
The heads are
The
just-
5 heads are the colors of a chromatic dragon. Blue, white, green, black, and red.
The blood of Krem and the crushing. Did it, thinking back on it, does it kind of feel like maybe that was like almost like cleaning? It just like it was like water that was like washing over and like sort of freeing the skin?
I mean, it could be looked at that way. It was just like as the blood kind of ran down, wherever the blood was touching, it was leaving behind, like metallic color behind it.
So you all once convinced me to go walk into what could have been certain death, a trap, to save potentially 2 lives. And here we sit, doing nothing, while a dragon ravages this city. What are we going to do?
Let me cast divination and find out.
Didn't you already do that?
We can do it more than once.
We're figuring out a plan so that
Well, then let's figure out a plan. Because I particularly liked Sonatho's idea to go speak with the priests of the lot that have combated dragons before.
I want to do that. I don't know if this is a deal with today kind of problem. I don't.
Well, I mean, it certainly is for all the people dying.
Yes, I know. I just don't know what we can do.
Caloran
I've never seen something this powerful before.
Caloran turns to address Hasid and kind of talking to all of you as well. My king, you need to get to safety. We need to get you into the tunnels, down into the sunken district below, into the pillar that the city is built on. If we get you down into the tunnels, that increases the likelihood that you can survive. If we can't get you out of Nark, we can at least guarantee your survival, that you can continue to lead the people that are still here. Assuming that the dragon doesn't decide to enact a total genocide, which is not out of the question. But if the dragon finds what it wants and leaves, this nation still needs its king. Maybe you can take your guards and get yourself to safety. My men need me. Can't leave them to defend this city by themselves.
King Hasid, Kilnan, I have to ask, you are Grand Marshal here. King Hasid, you are young. Kanan, who knows more than you do? Who bodes more respect than you do towards the armies that were gathered towards Kelsai?
The men fight for their king. I am merely the one who brokers his will. The men trust me. They fight for him.
Do you feel another can replace you if you stay?
Any soldier that lives in this nation and hears of what has happened here, if they themselves do not take up the mantle, arm themselves and come to the aid of their king, then they are no man that should be walking under the nation of Nark, the land of Halthane. However, there is another problem. Even if we do manage to rally an army, winter is in 2 days. The land will be untravelable. The roads will be dangerous to walk. I'm afraid that any hope that we might have from the barons of this country, they may be alone for the winter. Either way, that is something to worry about for tomorrow and the coming days from there. The most important task is getting King Hasid to safety, and then regrouping, finding a plan, finding out who's still alive. If you wish to help the king get him to safety, it would be appreciated. If you wish to leave, if you don't want to bind yourself to the fate of this creature and what comes in the next hours, I don't blame you for wanting to go. The only hope for us getting out, for getting the king to safety, would have been via a teleportation circle at the Arcane Citadel. However, I saw the devastation that it wreaked upon that tower.
Can you make teleportation circles, or do you need to have one?
I know the one in Kalasari, and I can take us there, but I have to rest.
If you can take the king to safety, then our first priority should be to get you and your companions, as well as the king, to somewhere where you can rest, regain your strength. And then we need to kick King Hasid away from here. And at that point, Hasid pipes in and says, I'll not abandon the people of this city. My men are out there dying for king and country. I'll not leave them to that fate. Calvin, it was not my word that marshaled 8,000 swords to march to Kalasari against an army of 20,000 orcs. It was you, being under the lead and the banner, that brought them out. You are the one that needs to go. I need to stay for my people. That is the king's command. Yes, my king. Calvin kind of nods. We need to get to safety. I can show us where we need to go to get to the tunnels that will lead into the pillar. As all of you begin to make your way back out of the keep.
Can I do the thing and say something real quick?
Sure, yeah.
I look to him and say, if you mean to go lead your people, just don't do it. Don't throw your life away. Do it safely. That we can't fight that creature head on. And I follow after that, so I say.
And he just kind of silently nods his head, seeming to try to wrap his head around the circumstance. As you all begin to you make your way back towards, out of the main hall into one of the back rooms of the keep, where you find in one of the side rooms, Calvin goes over and moves some furniture and pulls a rug out of the way as he lifts up one of the floorboards in the room, and it lifts up into a staircase that goes down into a hidden cellar. All of you begin to funnel down, closes the hatch behind you, and you see in this cellar an iron slatted door that, as all of you begin to open up the door, Calvin lights a torch and begins to lead all of you down, maybe 10 minutes of steps winding. There are several different forks and intersections. As you see, Calvin kind of comes to one of the intersections. He seems to be looking for specific types of marks. Following along, after about 10 minutes, you come to another door that is locked with iron. And you see, as the king kind of reaches in under his tunic and pulls out a medallion bearing a three-pointed crown. kind of sets it, goes over to where the lock on the door is, and the medallion fits into the slot of the lock. Turns it, the door opens up. Inside you find a room that is furnished. There is a secondary door on the opposite side that is locked with iron as well. You can see that there is provisions lined up against the one wall on shelves, and there are barrels of food. It looks as if that this is essentially a safe room that is down underneath the keep. And as all of you kind of step down into it, there are a few cots that are lined. The room is heavily layered in dust. It seems as if it's been a while since anyone has come down here. But you see as the king goes and sets himself down, two of the guards kind of run up as he gestures them over. Says, go out and get word to all of our forces. Do not engage this creature unless the creature engages with you. Have everyone get to safety. Get underground. Get into basements. Get into your homes. Do not fight this creature. They nod and they run back out through the iron gate. You guys are closed back into this room again. And it's still being kind of early in the day. All of you are currently standing here, still including Mothok, Vakinos, Chalia, as well as your group as well, the king and Caloran, as well as the two clerics that were tending to him. What do you guys want to do? You guys have some time? It's been, at this point, it's still only like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys can kind of set in and take a long rest a little bit earlier, but you guys have some time to kind of kill before you guys still letting the adrenaline kind of wear off. Is there anything you guys want to do?
That's a pee IRL.
We can probably take a break at that point too.
We'll just do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay. We will be back in a few minutes, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying it so far. We'll be back.
Red. That was the best. I don't even think that was intentional. That was the best pre.
We're back. God damn it.
I want to
So-
be the Black Power Ranger.
You find yourselves in
It's not.
the safe room. Is there anything you guys want to do for the next couple hours before you... That's probably on camera still, by the way. Is there anything you guys want to do for while you guys are hanging out in here? Otherwise, you guys can just kind of wait and see if anything happens, then try to go with a long rest.
Roll hit dice.
So
Yeah, you guys have time to take a short rest.
it's us and Calren in this room.
And the king and
Oh, the king's here too.
the king, your the other combatants that were with you. So Vlakinos,
Oh, they're with us.
Mothok.
So what are we just
Talia.
like biding our time?
It's still too early to rest at this point. Like you guys, like even still just trying to sleep. You guys are like restless.
No, I
at
mean,
this
are we
point.
just like seriously are we just sitting here
The-
now?
The thought for the moment is so the king is currently just being tended to. His intention is to stay here, and kind of from like seeing people coming and going, it seems as if for the moment this is the command post. The king is operating from this point in the city.
Okay.
He is the one that is giving out commands. There are guards that are coming and giving status reports every so often. But Calren and the rest of everyone else is just kind of hanging out here for the moment. So,
So the plan is for us to take Calren and go to Calisari? Just to get out of here, or what?
And King Nasib will stay.
But I don't know what we would do.
If that
once
is his command.
I don't know what we would do once we got there. Perhaps they have a way to transport us to other cities to seek aid, but either way, the aid could get here.
Do we have any means of faster travel than walking?
Well, I can take us to Kelasari. Through my teleportation.
And then how long would it take us to get back?
Back here? Well, only a few of us. Forget the number. A handful, 10 or less, I can't remember exactly. I can't take us back. So I don't know. And especially once winter falls, we're quite far out. It's possible if before we leave, I could find my way to the Laramie, the circle here, in Nark.
any circle of teleportation that's here in the city would have been destroyed with the tower. There might be some that are down in the ruins underneath where the dragon first attacked, but the city has no arcane circles outside of the citadel. The priests of Arion thought that having circles outside of the tower was dangerous, would allow enemies to potentially teleport in unknown within the walls of this city.
Can we make one?
It is a very expensive process from my understanding.
And
The citadel drained much of the king's coffers building circles.
There's no way to do that, then there's no way. I'm not sure. I mean, I hate the idea of just leaving and going to Calisari because we can't do anything there anyway, so we can just ask the Queen for help. But they're not particularly in a condition to help right now either.
And by the time help arrived, it wouldn't matter.
If we get to Calisari, they have teleportation circles that we can use. We can get word out to other cities. As for help, seek allies. Anyone to help them, and at the very least give them warning that they could potentially be next. Have them prepare their spellcasters, prepare their armies. Gather in as many forces as they can before the winter comes.
Is there sorry, I'm not exactly up to date on all the new gods and the current pantheon of gods that are worshipped here. Is there any that is like particularly known for being a keeper of knowledge, keeper of the past?
Would be Arion. He watches over the weave, and his scriptures are that of history and writing as to what is the present and the future.
Is the head of his temple here in the city? Is this the heart of his clergy?
Would have been the Citadel.
Damn it. Is there anywhere else, somewhere older, somewhere who's worshipped before? Perhaps we can get some sort of knowledge.
There are other temples in other cities. This is the oldest city on the continent, so the Citadel would have been our best place to go and look for information, but perhaps the College of Magi that reside in Darsul. That might be old scriptures in Haora, dating back to before the rupture. I'm not sure. Haven has been raised too many times in the past 150 years to have any real hope of any scriptures still remaining.
What about the old gods?
There are a few temples still that would have any information. You may be able to find something in Evergreen. Some of the elves there, from my understanding, still worship Coralon. I know not if the people still worship the old pagan gods.
I mean, my thought is, if we want to figure out how to deal with this thing, we need to figure out what it wants and stop it from getting it. And I think information, we need knowledge, people that know what to do, or people that have ideas of what we could do.
Kilnan, who do you worship?
I worship the host, all of the 9. Doldorn is the one to whom I pray the most, as he watches over me and my men in battle. But I'm no fool. I pay homage to all of them, the 9 and the 6, understanding the fact that they are the ones that watch over what happens in this plane. I don't know where they are today, though. Either way, knowledge is what we need. But even with knowledge, we need men. We need soldiers, mages, clerics, druids, anyone that's ever cared about this plane, anyone that's ever cared about these cities. If this creature is going to continue to ravage across the countryside, this will be the end of our age. And without Narc, any ages in the future are grim.
So, the plan to go to Calasari and figure out where we want to go from there. We seek any sort of aid we can from any city we can get it from, and any kind of knowledge we can find about pretty much anything about dragons at this point, I think. But particularly 5-headed dragons? Any sort of prophecy, perhaps?
Seems an anomaly, but there may be a prophecy.
I mean, it's going to be obvious if we see it, I think.
Well, it would seem to me we have one big decision to make.
Hopefully somewhere there's a book of 5-headed dragons.
Do we try to save this city, or do we write it off and try to save the rest of the world?
I don't know that.
Because as it sits now, from my point of view, we have a choice to do something or to do nothing, and we are doing nothing.
Has there been any harm to the creature? Anything?
I have no idea.
And you can see at this point the king is kind of nodded off and is resting currently. Calvin is really the only one that's kind of speaking to you guys at this point. You can see that the clerics have kind of gone to tend to Vakinos and Mothok at this point.
Calrin's the dude anyways.
Yeah, and Calvin. The reports that have been coming in saying the dragon seems to have abated somewhat in his attack. Yeah, it's not wantonly destroying everything. It seems more to have taken up residence in the center of the city and is flaunting its power. Any that come towards it, any attempts that any of our soldiers have made to go into anywhere within eyesight, the creature has destroyed them. The creature seems to have paused.
Were they always going towards it to fight it?
Some are, some that have... Many that have succumbed to fear have done the smart thing, taken the king's word, gone into hiding.
So none have approached it with anything other than battle.
Not from what I've seen.
I understand what you're saying, Korak, about not taking action. I think by not throwing our lives away, though, we perhaps are taking a better action.
Oh, I mean, I agree. I'm just...
I would like to be out there trying to fight it, but when you saw the way it disintegrated those people that were in the arena with us, strong fighters that gave us a run for our money. I believe it's beyond us and our current capabilities.
Yeah, I don't mean necessarily attacking head on. I mean, right now we are doing nothing. There is no one being warned. There is no one being prepared. There is nothing that we are accomplishing right now while we sit here in this keep.
I am resting and preparing for us to leave.
Is that the plan? Are we teleporting?
I think we have to.
Currently, I think we have to.
Okay then.
War is a game of chess, Master Halfwalk. We don't win the game in a single move. We have to draw our enemy in.
That's
Make a plan.
That's essentially what I'm
We
saying.
have a plan.
We need to do
We
something.
go and go to Galisari, gather allies, warn other cities, have them be prepared, so that they aren't caught unawares like Narcus. The dragon seems to have taken up residence in the city.
I mean that
Any of the other capitals are not in immediate danger as long as the dragon is still here.
No, but this is what I'm saying. That's what we need to formulate moves. We need to do something.
Yes, I think that's what we're...
Once I can speak with the Empress, we will get word out to the other cities. Have everyone be prepared.
I can send a message to her now, or one of her advisors.
You can do that, please.
I'll send
Have them be ready for our arrival.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's do that.
I send...
I'm sending them.
Think about it till just now.
I was like,
I'm sitting here like, we gotta do something, and then
I was prepared for fucking battle, not sending.
Well, I have sent. I always have that. What's the queen's advisor's name? She seems to like me a little bit more than the queen right now. So Tanessia. I will send a message to Tanessia.
I knew the name. I couldn't place it though. It's Cody's Hunter on the vanilla server.
It's a good name.
Strong. It is a strong name.
I'll send a message to Tanessia and pretty much just say something horrible has happened in Narc. We'll be teleporting to Calisari with Karen soon tomorrow. I can only say I only have one action to say it.
Okay. No, it's actually probably better. They probably wouldn't believe a dragon anyways.
a moment passes. Alright, we will be ready for your arrival. I hope everything is okay.
It's not. It's the complete opposite of okay.
It is gay.
It's actually not okay.
So, as you continue to sit and rest,
Are we long resting? We have to long rest?
I think that's the plan.
that's the only way that he'll be able to
He needs
cast
start
Circle
with
Teleportation.
back.
So, as you continue, eventually.
The other two combatants that are in there with us.
I thought I got him. Sorry.
That is a half-elf archer.
The half-elf archer was one of the two that was killed.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I thought I just saw it.
There is the. Or no, there was a high elf. It was the half-elf warlock, the half-orc blade master, and the Goliath that had the lightning axe.
How many people did you
The half-orc blade master is still with us.
Magnus is currently standing with you.
He just looks at you. What task is that?
Yeah, his blade.
What task is that?
Come on.
Whoa!
My blade. He just runs out the door and starts spinning. I would kill the dragon myself.
He says that and then just disappears. The door.
I bet you hear that.
I think the only blade master in WoW that we've seen is a Draenei, by the way.
I would like to actually spend some time, just at least somewhat getting to know, or I don't know. Do they have any family in Narc that they think is going to die immediately?
Do we have any reason to feel safe in the keep?
We are underneath the keep.
Yeah, you're down in the tunnels.
That's
like
what
you
I
are like,
missed.
yeah, you're like 10, 15 minutes down underground.
I
at
thought-
this point.
Yeah.
You're not still in the
I
castle.
heard you say
no.
there were no tunnels out, and I think I interpret that as there's no tunnels at all. There's no tunnels out of the city.
So the tunnel system essentially works its way through the pillar down
Yeah.
into the sunken district, the area that is like a mile down below the city, because the city is essentially built on the top of a pillar with a trench that is a half a mile wide and like a mile deep. At the bottom, where the sunken district is, there is a secondary part of the city down below. The tunnels can lead down into the sunken district. There is no way out of the sunken district other than the elevators that go up into the city. So all he's saying is that essentially you guys are in the earth of the pillar at this point.
Unless he breathed enough fire to fill up the entire thing, which is extremely unlikely. Maybe. I felt confident that it was extremely unlikely until I saw your face.
It's a dragon. Nothing is extremely unlikely.
Except that
So-
it has one hit point.
What's his name?
Who?
Blade master.
Vaki knows.
Killed it.
Nice. Scared the
That's
crap out of me.
Sorry, man. Sacrifice.
Gotta do what you gotta do, bro.
It's on your sleeve. Yeah, there you got it.
I thought it was your fault.
Yes, Buckiness, where will you go? Will you stay here and fight for glory here with the king? Will you protect him?
He's my king. I wouldn't abandon him.
So cute.
I'll stay here. See what help I can provide. Not much help to the army. But with as much destruction as there is like this, there's bound to be looters. Bound to be people that'll try to thrive in this chaos. I'll make sure to do what I can to keep them in order.
Peons to kill.
Yes, you're up.
Peon Zacula.
What's
Peons Acula.
Wisps. That's a
Chop.
big one.
I like to find trees with
And
little things
Charlie,
floating
you.
around them and kill them.
Yes.
Um,
I am not actually from Knock. I come from Evergreen. I don't intend to stay here if I don't have to. If you are able to transport more people than what your current company is, as well as Caloran, I would much appreciate being able to travel with you.
what was her name?
Charlie.
Charlie, you hold no. You hold no willingness to stay with your compatriot here.
She looks to Vakinos, who kind of gives her like a shrug, like kind of like a half smile. I only just joined with their team 2 weeks ago. I was a replacement after the team had disbanded over some misagreement that they had. But Vakinos, I mean no offense, but I have no intention of staying to fight a dragon. Vakinos nods. It's understandable. That's fair.
Shout out Peru.
You do you, man.
And Mothok at this point has kind of come to a little bit, and you did notice at this point that he no longer has the axe, seeing as he was unconscious. Vakinos kind of threw him over his shoulder, and he says, "Well, I'm not leaving. Vakinos and I have been through way too much for me to leave now. Plus, I have to get my fucking axe back. If it was up to me, I have a few choice words to have with that dragon when I get the chance."
I agree.
Perhaps, perhaps when you go to your axe, you can get the king's sword back. Saw it drop in the stands. If you can get in there.
If I manage to find it, I'll bring it back. You see, as he just kind of cracks his knuckles, you see a spark of electrical energy. It seems more so that it's not the actual axe that was electric, but the actual Goliath himself.
That's
cracks his
badass.
knuckle. You see like lightning kind of crack off.
How do I make a thunder Goliath?
You just choose to, and it happens.
I want a fire Goliath.
I wanna talk to like our group without the other people. Do I have a chance to do that at some point?
Yeah, I mean the room is big enough that like this room is built to house like 20, 25 people. So like there is enough space that you and your group can kind of congregate in one corner away from everyone else.
Alright. So I want to ask you guys, did you lot knew crap, correct?
Nope.
Very.
I mean, look, he says I seem to recognize you more than others.
Who's Crown?
We knew him very briefly, and we did not
The-
particularly part on good terms.
CHA.
He was a good friend of our former traveling companion, Jeremiah.
I'm unconcerned about how you left him. I'm wondering if you knew anything about items he had or anything. What was it about him that creature
Can I
was after? Like,
Can I roll to see if I remember what Adris told us about Jeremiah being like shining when he died?
Roll just a straight intelligence check.
Because I don't know if my character would remember something that small.
Rack through your memory.
Straight intelligence.
Straight intelligence check.
Uh,
He doesn't have that ability yet.
I was really hoping for an
That's
actual
12.
12.
Plus 1 if I can use my list. My stone of luck counts for that, but I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, I mean it's
So
it's an ability check. It's just a straight intelligence
Yeah,
ability check.
it's 13.
13. Thinking on it, you remember that he said that he found like when he went through the city, through Starlasker, he got to the spot where the fight happened. He went over the body, picked up the weapons that he had, got to the head, and he saw a light. And as he kind of went over it and picked up the head, and you can see that the eyes and coming from the mouth as well, there was a glowing white light for a moment, and then it faded.
So, Krem had that glowing white light come out of him, and Adros told me when he found the body of Jeremiah that his head was emitting a bright light. Perhaps something that they have in common?
Was Krem some sort of paladin?
I think they were both just fighters.
Jeremiah was not a paladin either.
No, he was just a warrior. Very good with martial weapons, but he had no... I don't think he had no magic abilities that I can remember.
No. He had a magic way about him.
He had a magic way about him.
He was very curious about magic.
He was curious about magic. Keep hearing these voices in my head.
Agreeing.
But perhaps he came from Lothwell. Perhaps there's something there that could give us an idea. I don't know if there's teleportation circles in Lothwell.
Did Krem come from there?
I don't know.
What is the link between Krem and this Jeremiah?
They were just old friends. We hadn't really spoken that much about it. As far as I can remember, anyways. Jesus. But that's the only connection I can think of, the only thing I can even come up with at the moment.
Did Vudris look like he was looking for Krem, or did it kind of seem like Krem caught his eye and he's like, "Oh, there we go"? Is there
That's a good question.
Roll an insight check.
I'm really good at insight.
Natural.
Until I roll a 9. But I get a 6. I have 16 total.
Wait,
16.
nice. G plus 7.
You.
Bolton.
You noticed when the dragon showed up, the dragon seemed interested more in addressing the king first, and then as the panic began to set in, it then, all of them, it looked out to the arena and was looking at everyone, and then it focused in on Krem.
Locked in.
Remember it saying when it first started coming to the arena, I believe it said,
So
where is
it-
it?
So that
Who has it?
to me says that he wasn't necessarily expecting to find that shard at the arena.
If that's even what that is that he found.
Yeah, is that how?
Or whatever he ended up getting from Krem. I don't know if he was expecting. He wasn't there with the goal of finding that.
I don't know. He certainly seemed satisfied whenever he crushed him and whatever that was happened.
There's no way to truly tell.
Calren, did you? We're talking to each other. We're talking this more about that.
Well, no, I think we.
So yeah, I wanted Calren to say, do you originally hail from Lothwell as well, like your son did, or?
No, I only went to Lothwell after. I'm from Hawthane. I was raised in a small village southeast of here. I only went to Lothwell after I was done campaigning. I wanted to get away from war. So I traveled and ended up in Lothwell. And when I returned here after King Bali was killed, and Calren needed a general. Or, not Calren, sorry, Hasid. His advisors needed a general. So they called for me and I returned.
Where is Lothwell? Would I know where Lothwell is?
Lothwell is in Osmond. It's a small village somewhat near the Freedom Rail, about midway through the plains.
Is there any large cities around it that would have teleportation circles?
Osmond is mostly flatlands, full of wandering barbarians, orcs. Heora we could get to, and it's near the Freedom Rail, but if we get to Heora, even if we get to Heora, once the snow falls, the Freedom Rail stops running. So the only other teleportation that would have been Circle would have been Cardathor, but all the teleportation circles no longer go there. None of them seem to work.
We don't really have any way of getting to Lothwell then unless we brave the cold, but I don't know if that's possible. And I don't even know if that's it's just making a lot of assumptions to say, to think we should even try and go there.
He kind of puts his hand and kind of shakes your shoulder for a second and just says, one move at a time.
Alright.
We can plan ahead as much as we want, but until we actually know how our moves pan out, we don't want to plan too far ahead and just pipe on possibilities.
Yeah. So sometimes I try to think too much in the grand picture and not enough in the moment.
Think now.
So, well, I mean, it certainly seems that we have ceded the city to the dragon.
For the moment. Our men hide.
No. So
as
we
necessary.
must move past that. So Calasari is our destination.
And from there we plan. From there we
At dawn,
move forward.
At dawn we
At dawn we plan.
Oh, by the time we get going, get to teleportation cycle, it could be midday.
But you did well in getting the king here. Rest. You've earned it. As he walks over to where the king is kind of woken up from a nap at this point. You can see that another runner comes in, and the two of them go to taking in more reports of what's going on. So, is there anything else that you guys want to do before taking a rest?
When we're like kind of settling down, can I go talk to Shelly yet?
Sure.
I kind of walk to her and I say, you're from Evergreen, you said?
Correct, yes.
Is there moon elves in Evergreen?
Yes, there are many. Some that stay more to the tribes away from the city. My understanding is that the Eladrin that are in Calasari once hailed from Evergreen, and after it crashed into the material plane, they left their city behind. And the Wood Elf and the Moon Elves had no place to go. They had no city. So they took to Evergreen, or the ruins of it. Yes, there are those that still worship Selune. There are those that worship the old gods, and those that worship the new as well.
You said there's ones that worship Seluna there. Could I find a temple there if I went?
Yes, there are small temples. Wood Elves are much more practical, as opposed to the religious fanatics. But yes, you can find temples to Selune there.
I'd love to do that someday, but
Well,
I don't know about now. Anyways, thank you for your time. I didn't just have a few questions, and I kind of just go back into like a corner and start getting ready to sleep.
she finds her own rest. Anything else?
I'm just. Never mind.
Do it, because I want to.
I'd like to
Do it.
have a conversation with Charlie as well.
Okay.
Charlie, you have no foundation. You have no sense of camaraderie with anyone here in Nog? This king, King Yasid, you care not for him at all.
I mean, he seems like as good a king as any. And props to him for having the balls to stay in a city under dominion by a dragon, but these are not my people.
What would you do instead? When the king lives, after this battle, after everything that happens here, you would stand truer, taller than anyone else.
You're making a lot of assumptions that we can win this war. I don't know if you're daft between your ears or not, but that is a fucking dragon. It has decimated the oldest city on this continent in a single day, and you think to win?
What would you do instead?
Live.
Where? Why?
You saw what it did. You saw its opinion of us in the arena. We are ants to this creature, and I will go and do what ants live. Find a hole in the ground and live.
You're a skilled fighter. You should be fighting beside the king. And I cast chaos on her. Through this conversation.
I'm sitting here being like, preach on, sister. And Stewie's like, oh, Cuskio's on.
I need to read out this book.
Purely verbal.
She really wants to
What's the cast?
He's just like, kill the king, kill the king.
When did we become like the Guardians of Narc, you know?
Yeah. He was doing a little extreme, which is why I was like, what's he planning?
We must stand and
I'm
fight.
gonna
Like, I felt dragging out up here, like, battle wise.
I was rolling to see if she noticed if you were casting a spell.
That could only have gone.
purely
No,
verbal.
absolutely.
Right, but it is verbal, but there is a
But we've had this.
even if you are doing a spell simply verbally, there is there is a tone to
Okay, sure.
casting a spell. Okay. What's your saving throw?
17.
You see, as you continue, the minute passes. You finish your spell. And you see her blink and look at you and stand up. You know what? I won't take that teleportation circle. I'll go find a hole somewhere here, trying to charm me. Excuse me, General Calrin. May I leave? She walks up and walks over to Calrin.
I stand up abruptly and just give her like death stare.
Make an intimidation check. With disadvantage.
That's
What's that? I wasn't trying to get laid. But that's how as soon as I talk to a girl, I'll try to kill her.
14. 14.
Because secretly he wants you.
And she looks at you for a moment, just a look of disgust in understanding what it is that you were just trying to do.
Sure.
And, General kind of stands up, walks over, kind of pushes open undoes the lock on the door and opens it. The guards will make sure that you can get out of the keep safely. If going out there is what you wish, so be it. She turns and kind of gives you like a death stare back as well. Vakinos, Mothok. It was fun while it lasted. And Vakinos and Mothok just kind of give her a head nod, an understanding. She walks out the door. The door's closed, the lock is redone.
I like her. She was nice.
What
So-
just happened?
I don't really know, but she certainly seemed angry.
What did you say to her?
She has no. She has no friends here. She chooses to hide after seeing this creature.
Well, I mean, isn't that what we're all doing?
Don't blame her. It takes some.
I feel like that's what we're all doing right now.
I mean, we plan on doing something, but
She was gonna go with us, and now she doesn't want anything to do with us.
You probably hit on her.
Did you say anything to offend her?
You probably thought.
We had a harsh conversation. I wanted her, not wanted, but I asked her to consider the dangers that the king faces. Staying while we leave. She could still have came with us. That was her choice to walk away.
I want to insight check him.
Roll an insight
See
check.
if he's
Go and
being
roll a-
honest with us.
Are you deception, I guess?
Yeah, sure.
I was gonna say,
I wasn't lying, but I'm hiding things.
You're telling a half truth.
Sure.
Essentially.
I got a 17.
She definitely beat me.
He does seem to be choosing words very carefully in kind of a roundabout answer. I mean, you pick up on that much and you gather that there is some truth that's not being fully told, but he doesn't seem to be lying.
Yeah. I'm just gonna make a mental note of his dodginess.
So, anything else?
I don't think so.
So,
I think it's a person emulating a wolf.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
as all of you lay down to rest, eventually thoughts of your own families, friends, people that you've known, all of these things, all of these dangers to them running through your heads, thinking of the terror that is in the city above you. Eventually, sleep overcomes all of you. You don't check one thing. Sorry. All of you sleeping. You rest. You become aware that you're asleep. Someone at the door. Your eyes flutter open. You're in a field of gray mist. You hear footsteps behind you. And you turn. You see a female form, caramel-colored skin, flowing, shimmering robes, long black hair, eyes that shine like diamonds.
About damn
June Law.
About damn time,
June
June
Law.
Law.
I'm sorry to have to communicate with you like this.
I'm just happy to see that you're still alive. Can I talk?
Yes.
Okay.
She kind of nods. Something has happened.
Yes, we noticed.
Oh shit.
There was a large, 5-headed dragon beast in Nox.
Then you were there.
Yes.
I didn't know who else I could reach out to. Who I could communicate with. I don't trust anyone else other than you and your companions.
I think you're right, at least for now. Anyone trusting us?
I've remembered something in the past month and a half, trying to figure things out, remember, sift through my memories. We missed something at the second shrine, the second arcane junction, the one with the temple. Something about it was different than the others. It wasn't as overtly magical. We missed something. There is something beneath that temple. And I only remembered it after hearing the roaring of that creature as it flew overhead. I didn't know what to do. I still don't know what to do. I'm afraid to travel there by myself, even with my current form. I don't know what I'll find there. Are you and your companions all right?
Yes, we're all alive, a little shaken up. We're heading to Calasari in the morning. But it's the winter falls soon. We don't really have a way of traversing the forest.
If you can get outside of the city, I can help to pass through. I have regained some of my strength. I have regained my ability to breathe fire, I can perhaps melt paths to traverse through the forest. I don't know if it is exactly what we need. I don't know if it will help us, help me understand. But I have a feeling that my return is intertwined with that beast.
Well, that's ominous. Where should we meet you outside the city? I have to bring it up with everybody to even be sure of this. We wanted to go and gather aid around the world. I don't know if we can slip away easily.
If you cannot join with me, then I will go by myself. If you can, if you and your companions wish, you can sneak away into the forest. I would greatly appreciate the help.
Is it possible for me to message you, or is there some sort of barrier blocking it?
No, there's nothing blocking a spell. I've reached out to you while you were sleeping. It is the only way that I had any way of communicating with you and your companions.
The Night Mother wills it.
If
And I drop dream. Stop casting.
And then all of a sudden,
If you can, please send me a message.
I will in the morning. I'll talk to my friends when we have privacy. I'll message you. I will.
Thank you.
Yes. If you do end up going alone, because we can't leave, just be careful. But I hope we can be there with you.
She kind of nods and smiles, and you feel the weight of your weariness fall heavy on your eyelids and on your shoulders. You fall back into sleep. The rest of you eventually find yourselves awake. You see, as at this point, Calderin has kind of gathered together a small backpack with supplies, as well as you see that he is strapped with his sword and a very light set of armor. King Hasid is conversing with the priest messenger, with the priests that are currently here with him, and you see that Vakinos and Mothok themselves seem to be wrapping up their bandages, tightening everything up, and seem to be preparing themselves as well. Galarin comes over. It's still only 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. If you and your companions are ready to go, and at this point, with the time you guys fell asleep, you guys have finished a long rest. Your hit points.
So like we're all up and ready to go.
Yeah. So at this point, you guys are waking up early because you guys fell asleep like midday.
Right.
So you slept. It's like partway through the night at this point.
Question about divination. It says that it concerns something to occur within 7 days. So does that mean that vision?
I missed that part.
Okay.
Man, we don't have a lot of time.
In our
We have 1 week.
what Cody means is that in
Well,
our
no.
world that doesn't apply.
I take that as, in his head,
Well, no.
he viewed that as hopefully happening in 7 days, and you saw that.
Because your question was essentially aiming to what is she hoping by gathering
It's a she.
by gathering together what she wants.
Great.
And that is you gather from your divination that seems to be her goal.
Okay.
That's a good point.
You didn't ask as to a specific
What
event
will
that happens.
happen,
What
yeah.
will happen when we go to X? What will happen if we try to do Y?
And what will happen if we fail?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted
You
to
asked
ask
essentially-
another question.
What will happen when the cosine of the X?
You said
Stop.
Sagittarius.
What if jet fuel burnt at like 20?
Stop.
Your ears just start bleeding.
Mythbusters D&D edition.
So, as you all come to, you guys are awake. Colin is speaking with you. If we, are you prepared? Are you able to cast your spell?
Yes. I can take us to Kelisari. It is a one-way trip.
Well, I mean, we're not doing anything here. Let's go.
Yes, I think we have to.
Colin walks over to King Hissy. My king, I'll ask one more time, please. Allow me to stay. Get yourself to safety. And at this point, you can see that his King Hissy's arm is like fully in his sling, properly actually set and intended to. And he kind of stands up and holds his arm out to Caloran. The two of them kind of Beastmaster handshake. My general, my commands have not changed. Your king has willed you to leave. Go and gather my armies. Find aid. And return to this city. Find this dragon. And see it dead. That is my command to you. Yes, my king. Takes a step back. And, as he turns to look at all of you. Thank you. If it weren't for all of you, I probably would have been a pile of ash in that arena. You saved Kelisari. You saved me. And the messages that you will send could perhaps save this city and those beyond. Thank you. He takes a step back. Kind of giving you guys space as you begin to sit down and trace out the runes of your teleport, because it's circle teleportation you're casting. Right?
Yes, circular teleportation. I'd like to say goodbye to Mothak as well.
Okay, yeah, but I just mean you're kind of laying it out, getting it prepared at this point. As you finish drawing the final bit of the circle with your chalk on the ground, as you draw the last line, it begins to hum and glow with an arcane light, and it's essentially just waiting on your command at this point now. You see Vakinos and Mothok just kind of standing and watching curiously, watching as you draw out the circle, and Vakinos. Well, I hope you do as well in your tasks that you set out to do as you did against me and my team. If that's the case, we're set.
We wouldn't even if probably wouldn't even take on the fight if we knew you had a dragon in your back pocket.
If I had a dragon in my back pocket, I probably wouldn't have killed all those people, but, you know.
Yeah, shit happens.
Hey. You won that fight. Fair and square.
Handily.
What about the money we bet?
Next time, we'll square up. See how handily you can win. We had a good fight on the top of that pillar.
We did indeed.
Excited to see next time, when we meet again, what you can do. Beastmaster handshake.
God, I love Beastmaster handshakes.
Say that best. Why do other handshakes exist? I don't even understand.
Oh my god, right?
But good luck.
Stay safe.
You as well.
Protect the king.
I'll do my best.
It's not as good as
I really want to see you guys fight when we get through all of this.
He
I guess we have similar goals.
At least
Well,
Him and Mofok both take a step back. King of Seed. You go with the goodwill of all men, all women, all peoples that live in this country. Go.
Like that. Face like that. I guess we just whip on out. Just teleport out.
Okay. As you say the location. Vroom, vroom, vroom. And the light begins to pulse faster and faster. Suddenly all of you feel a similar sensation to going up or coming down from the Heart of Magic. All of you lift up.
Wait, is that the Gorb happened last time? Damn it.
Gently set back down. Your feet find purchase on the ground. You find yourselves in a small, dark room, similar to what you found before. There's a small light that provides into here, but you find yourselves in one of the small teleportation circle rooms in the Elder's Conflux. As you open up the door and push out into the
Before we do we have any means of disguising me?
How long does it take to get attuned to an item?
short rest.
Wait. What if the temple of Lara is active? I don't know if it's active or not. If I try to disguise you with a spell, I could get teleported out into the bay.
Alright, then we'll risk it.
What
We will
is
risk
it?
it.
Is
We'll
it
risk
all
it.
magic that it does that to you?
It is illusion, enchantment, and evocation magic.
Pretty much anything you're trying to trick people.
Or fuck shit up.
Well, I
I
mean,
believe
there's
disguise self is illusion.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of.
Disguise self also only affects the person you cast. Only the caster can affect themselves. Disguise self.
Yes, but I could give him the
The hat, yes, but you remember that you were warned in your first venture to the city that if you walked in with the hat on, you find yourself out in the bay.
Does he know that?
Perhaps just keep your cloak drawn high and well, you're half naked. Damn it! I don't.
No. I have a large, flowing cloak.
It's Magnus.
Perhaps
The room that you're in you begin to get that really pungent smell
smell
of
that brimstone.
Does anybody have a large cloak? Perhaps we could put over and just walk through the streets.
Oh, I
So you
Little
pop the collar,
Little Red Riding Hood style.
pull it over, kind of draw the cloak around you a little bit more. The gate or the door opens up.
I actually choose to burst through the door.
Okay.
That's
As the door bursts open, you are immediately greeted with the sound of 5 crossbows lifting up.
Hell, we come from Knock.
I warned Nessia that we were coming.
And you see pushing forward. Stand down. Put your crossbows down. You see as the 2 elves and the 3 human guards kind of lift up the crossbows as Tenacia kind of pushes her way to actually come fully into sight. You can see that she looks. It's been like a month and a half since you've seen her. She looks tired.
stressed out.
You can see large bags under her eyes, even for being an elf. She's visibly weary. Nocturnum. General Calorin. Glad to see that you were able to make it safe. Is everything alright?
Not particularly, no. There's a lot to go through, but there's a giant herd of dragon and destroying the city. I mean, if
And you literally hear the guards that are with her chuckle
Very tactful, Zahn.
at that, as well as her just kind of give a very, like, Zahn, I don't have time for games. It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
And he wants to unleash an army of smaller dragons to burn the landscape.
Just so that you're aware, the smaller dragons are still giant fucking dragons.
Smaller compared to him.
Tenacity, I fear my friends are weary from travel. Where can we sleep?
You just slept.
That she doesn't know that.
I say that.
I said that.
As you step forward and kind of say that, she takes, as you kind of step forward and say that, you see 2 of the guards kind of look over to you with your hood drawn. And the one levels up the crossbow a little bit, just looking at you.
I will not allow you to aim at my compatriot that I've traveled from hell and back
to.
Tomato.
Make a persuasion check. Or intimidation, whichever you prefer.
They're both the same. A 9.
9.
It's not.
The guard kind of looks towards you. It isn't fully leveling up the crossbow, it just seems to have it ready to be drawn up at any point. But the other guards are kind of laxed a little bit.
Well, thank you, Sindal. But if I were him, I would train that on me as well.
At that point, the other guards taking more notice to you. But the crossbow is more to a ready position.
I'm not lying. I know it sounds ridiculous. Calren here can give validity to my story.
Karen
There's a lot more than just that to talk about. But
takes a step forward. Tenesia, we need to talk. We need to go speak with the Empress and the rest of the council. She nods, still seeming very confused and kind of giving you like a preposterous look.
I speak up in regards to that, and I say, the council that was current in Narg is dead, except for Kilnar.
the tiefling, I believe, is. I haven't seen her.
She was not in the
That's true.
booth.
I forget her name. Nellius.
Well, half.
Alright. Come along. We'll head to where we're set up currently. The guards kind of all forming out and forming a circle around you. She begins to lead you out of the Eldritch Conflux. Coming into the night sky, you can see and hear that there is still, you can hear in the distance the sound of people still out in the city late at night. Perhaps people still out drinking, doing whatever. But for the most part, it's a chill, cold night. You see the stars are out. You can see floating against the moonlight, the glowing crystals that hold up the heart of magic. And it seems as if that where she's taking you, it's still not where things are. It's not where she's leading you for this council. She leads you away towards one of the larger homes in the interior district of the innermost district of the city. She opens up the door and you see several servants come forward, taking anything that you guys kind of hand to them, taking cloaks. Door closes. The guards are left outside And Tenacia at this point, forgive me. I believe that whatever it is that you need to tell the Empress, I need to hear first. The Empress has been in a state the past few weeks, and it would be better served that whatever information that you plan to tell her, that she hears it from me first, because she's liable to go off the handles, lose her temper, if it's not something that she wants to hear.
She does have AIDS. No, at least they'd be appropriate.
Please, and kind of leading you in, it seems as if she's led you to her home, her actual house, and as you guys are led into a large den, where you guys find comfortable seating, servants bring up drinks, and Calrin begins to kind of tell her exactly what happened. His reports that the last reports from what you guys heard were that the dragon was still resting in the city, in the interiormost section. It seemed as if that there were people that were coming to the dragon later that night, not to combat it, but some coming to plead. And the dragon seemed to be taking pleasure in the fact that people were coming to plead. Some the dragon killed, some the dragon allowed to live.
He's a generous god.
And Tenacia seems to be just taking all of this in, not asking a lot of questions, but just looking in utter disbelief. Once Carinus comes towards the end of his story. So, we came here to Kalasari in the hopes that we can get word out to the other cities of the continent, to Heora, Darsul, Haven. Let them know that they may potentially be in danger as well, and that this dragon is searching for something. Shards. We have to see if we can find anything. Any mention of it. Anything that might give us an idea of what this dragon is looking for. And more importantly, we need their armies. We need their mages, clerics, anyone and everyone who's willing to take up arms against this dragon to see to its defeat. If it takes up residence permanently in Nark, the other cities aren't immediately in danger. But if the dragon decides to unleash its wrath on the other cities, I'm not sure any defense can hold against that creature. All right. I will let Fidania know about this in the morning. And we can perhaps get word out to the other cities. There are ambassadors here from some of the other cities as well. Their words will carry more clout wherever they're going than mere messages. Just like with the Empress, but... Alright. Well, I know that you said that you had not slept. If you and your companions wish to rest, I can have the guest rooms prepared for you to sleep.
I don't think that'll be necessary. I think we'll be alright.
Forgive me, Korak.
We'll take you up on the offer. Thank you.
Before I was scolded for saying we slept, now I'm being... can't win. Life of a half-orc.
Korak, I understand that you come with your companions, bearing this good message. And if it were up to me, You would be allowed to walk from this house with no problem. Walk the city. However, the guards know that you are here. Those are guards that are under the employ of the Empress. I think that if, with a good word in the Empress's ear, you may still be allowed to walk the city. But you won't be allowed to go anywhere without an escort.
Well, see, I understand the concern, but I appreciate your words.
Oh, if you don't mind, I am in desperate need of sleep, if there's nothing else.
Tennessee, if I might. In regards to the current situation, I find it paramount to mention that this creature claims homage to old gods and despises the light of the Nine in the current host. If that might help in our search and knowledge towards what he or she or whatever this creature is seeking. And
She. Yeah.
How dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
Listen, I am God. I don't assume gender. I know.
You
gender.
don't. But everyone else.
You guys can see that big dragon vagina when it was standing over us?
So,
That's a good point.
I feel like we're noticed.
and this creature has wrought destruction far greater than I believe any of us have seen with an orc army almost destroying Kalasari. I think it's capable of more than anything of an army of that scale.
alright. I'll make sure to include in the message that this dragon is opposed to the host. There are those gods that the host opposes. However, they are most famously known for throwing down the dragon gods. One might assume that this dragon worships those dragons as well, but assumptions won't be made. We have to know for certain. If you don't mind, I need to rest. Get a little bit of sleep at least. I will have words with the Empress in the morning. And then, once she has calmed down, we can see to it that a proper meeting is held, and we can discuss what our next plans are. She excuses herself and leaves. All of you find yourselves here with Calrin, who he himself also takes to get rest because he did not sleep while you guys were sleeping. So, you find yourselves awake in Kelisari at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Did we end up taking that guest room?
You guys are shown that you have rooms.
Listen, before we do anything, we need to talk. Some new information is written up. I need to speak with all of you privately about it.
What information? What is it?
You guys find your way to one of the guest rooms. Close the door.
What did Calvin do, by the way? Is he still
Calrin left.
Sleep.
He went to go sleep. He didn't sleep while you guys were resting.
So we go into the room. I had a dream last night. I saw June Lonnet. She came and spoke to me in my dream. She thinks that she has an idea of what this thing might be. She says she saw it fly over her head. She said that we missed something in the forest, the second shrine, right, the second arcane junction. There's something under it.
So has she gone back?
She is afraid. She asked if we would. She asked me if we would accompany her.
Well, where is she? Can we accompany her?
She said she could meet us outside of the city.
Outside of Kalasari.
Outside of Kalasari.
and we can travel through the forest with her. She can keep the snow around us melted.
Well, that certainly sounds like a plan to me.
It's all we have right now.
I know, my question coming into this was what was our plan, and this certainly is an excellent development. This is what I think we should do.
My intention immediately was to look for some sort of... They've been looking for help for the Empress. She has been extremely temperative since her encounter with, well, us and the explosion and lyrium. I believe that
She's been through a lot.
her body has been poisoned by some sort of lyrium. Something. I intended to research it and take time. And hopefully find something that might alleviate her stress.
Well, to me that seems irrelevant right now.
I'm just concerned because if we set out on a journey tomorrow after just arriving here, what will this? I mean, I guess the.
Oh.
That's,
I will
Whoa.
I will stay with all of you. Beyond any other
I was under the impression we were going immediately. I didn't think
we don't
were
have a-
waiting till tomorrow.
We don't have a commitment to stay in the city, right? We were just coming to
I mean, we've
I
warn
think we
them.
have a duty to at least speak with the Empress.
Well, that's what I mean. Outside of that, we don't have a commitment to stay here, so we can just deliver the message and then be on our way.
The message has already been delivered.
We should probably speak directly to the Empress.
Yeah, she's a big fan. of us.
I don't want to. I don't
That's
want
a good
to
point.
be. I don't want to be. I just don't want to be shady and just disappear right after just getting here and bearing horrible news.
It does not fare well with our message.
Yes, I think we should at least get across how serious this is, and then I mean, we could just not tell the full truth, but tell most of the truth and say we have an idea, and that we have to leave, and we'll be back as soon as we can. How long did it take us to get to the second junction? How long?
It's about 3 or 4 days through the forest.
No, it's not that far then.
Well,
my
that was when there wasn't feet of snow.
Yeah.
My misunderstanding was thinking this was a pressing matter. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is.
It's a matter of just waiting a few hours to speak to the Empress.
I can message Junlaw and tell her what time we want her to meet us. She said that there's nothing stopping me from sending a sending to her, so I can send, and if we agree on a time, perhaps tomorrow afternoon. Or I'll tell her that I will speak to her after we speak with the Empress and see where we stand. See what time that is. I don't know how early that she'll be available. So I'll do that if everyone's in agreement.
No, sure.
And I'll send an email to July and say we plan to talk to the Empress in the morning. And it's I think we plan on accompanying you. I'm just not sure an exact time yet. I will message you again.
Moment passes. She responds. Alright. Send me the message. I'll keep an eye out for you. If you're not, I'll be able to find you.
Right.
So, is there anything else? You guys just want to kind of hang out for the next couple hours? Until the sun comes up and you're meeting with the Empress?
Yeah.
There is something you want to do? Or are you just hanging out?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, all the shops are closed.
Question.
and
How long was it that I had to wait on that horn to be created?
It was going to be through the winter.
Damn it.
all the shops are closed, guys.
So,
We're gonna destroy the city.
as you and your companions begin to wait, waiting through the night, eventually, sun begins to rise. Sindal, flipping through your book, in your room, you see the first light of the dawn come through your window. Close your book. set it down. Walk to the window and look outside. You see out the second story, out into the street. You see the gentle falling of snowflakes. This is the last day of fall. Snow never falls during fall. It seems winter's come a day early this year. And we're gonna go ahead and stop there.
You tricked me there, because I thought that's what you were going to say, but then you paused and I was like...
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and stop there. Guys, anyone that's watching, thank you. We are taking a hiatus for the coming holidays. Just a lot of things going on. I have a lot of things I need to get ready. And yeah, so we'll be back turn of the new year, and we'll be back and ready to continue playing from there. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, give us a follow. Also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter and Facebook.com/perspectivecheck. Or no, roll perspective. Not perspective check.
Twitter and Facebook.com/roll
perspective. Guys, thank you for watching. And we'll see you
Next time if it's Wednesday. In about a month.
Yeah, there's no more Wednesdays.
Yeah, there's no more Wednesdays until 2018, guys.
No Wednesdays in December.
We'll see you the first Wednesday.
It's a short Wednesday year, that 2017.
I can't find the mouse. Where is it now?